Hello everyone, welcome you all to this new video. So in this video onwards, we are going to be discussing with one important Verilog description, which is included in your module. Okay, in this module that is there, so that's why I thought to do it. That is Verilog data flow description. Okay, totally there are three kinds of Verilog descriptions which you need to be knowing in the Verilog part, in which the one description they are mentioned it in module 4, and the other two descriptions are Verilog behavioral and structural description, and those two descriptions are there in module 5. Okay, so in this module, since this description, that is the data flow description, is mentioned, I'm going to be just telling you how the Verilog programs are represented. Okay, this is the one form of a representation where in this data flow manner you need to be writing the code for a particular logic circuit. Okay, so this is the Verilog data flow description. In this video I'll just explain you in detail what and all this it consists of, how the inputs and outputs are represented in a descriptive manner, the syntax and some of the conditions through this the Verilog data flow description is obtained. Okay, so please watch this video till the end, like this video, subscribe to our channel. Okay, so now let us start now. Verilog data flow description. So first, the highlights of the description. The data flow is a type of hardware description which shows how the signal flows from system inputs to outputs. Okay, so this is a hardware description. It shows how the signal, that is the data, whatever is sent, how it flows from input to output side. Okay, because some processing takes place when input is sent, right? And based on that, the program is written, and based on the program, whatever the output is generated, that is the complete flow. Okay, because we are having one module obtained of for that some process takes place and we get the output. Okay, so that complete signal flow from input to output is the data flow. Okay, so that's why it consists, the name suggests that it is Verilog data flow description. It uses a signal assignment statement which are executed concurrently when an event occurs on the signal on the right side of the statement. Okay, it is executed on the right side of the statement, as I've told you in one of my previous video. Okay, so in the HDL language, programming is carried out two standard methods. So there are two standard methods for the programming under this data flow description. One is called as concurrent program execution and sequential program execution. Okay, so these are the two executing methods under this data flow description where the programs are obtained and how they are represented. Okay, let us see them one by one. First is the concurrent. In this method of program execution, all the statements within the program are executed simultaneously. It means that the statements basically include the inputs, outputs, and the relationship between them. All of them are executed simultaneously, that is all together. Okay, because we each of the statements are not taken randomly. Once one at a time, once at a time, for the complete logic the code is written and the entire program is executed simultaneously. Okay, so that is called as concurrent program execution. So you see here, the above gate network has two inputs A and B, two outputs y1 and y2. The outputs will get evaluated simultaneously whenever an event occurs on either of the inputs, that is either A or B. In which of the input, the whatever the logic is given to any of the inputs, the output would be occurred simultaneously to that particular data. Okay, so both assuming the propagation delay of both the gates to be same. Okay, so the propagation delay is the factor through which these inputs and outputs would be separated and would be getting the relationship between them. Okay, so in order to describe the above hardware, we need a concurrent program execution where the outputs are updated whenever an event occurs on its inputs, irrespective of the order of statements. Okay, so the input occurrence is very important in this complete concurrent program execution, as we need a input to be obtained in such a way that the outputs will not be affected. Okay, so that's why this is called as concurrent program execution. After that, one more kind is sequential program execution. Here what happens, you see here, in this method all the statements are executed sequentially in the order of their appearance. Okay, so here not simultaneously they are not executed, but it is executed sequentially in order of their appearance. Means a logic network would be having one order, right? That is, it consists of a set of inputs and one outputs, and one by one each input should be assigned simultaneously, and after the assignment of each input, then output should be assigned, then altogether it should be kept in a sequential manner how the logic network affords. After that, you need to be executing in a sequential manner. Okay, in this data flow description, we use mainly this sequential program execution rather than concurrent program execution, okay, in this data flow. Why? Because the name suggests data flow, right? So that's why data should be first given in the sequential manner from input side to output side. So that's why we prefer sequential program execution rather than the concurrent program execution, okay. So an example of hardware that requires this method of program execution is a flip-flop. So this is a flip-flop. Through this sequential program execution is done. The data given at the D input will be transferred to the output only after rising and falling edge of the clock. Okay, rising and falling edge of the clock would be depending the sequential program execution. So these are the two approaches in the HDL language, which is very important. Now let's get to the structure of this data flow description. So now a data flow model specifies the functionality of the system without explicitly specifying its structure. It specifies how the system's signal flow, how the system's signal flow from inputs to the outputs. The description is usually done by writing the Boolean functions of the outputs. The data flow statements are concurrent and their execution is controlled by events. So the one event is specified here. You see here, an event is a change in the value of the signal, such as 0, such as from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0. Okay, so these are the events which is occurring, that is the bit reversals. So the data flow description is modeled using concurrent signal assignment statements and continuous signal assignment statements. Okay, so this concurrent part is used for VHDL and continuous part is used for Verilog. Okay, so these two we'll discuss in this video later. Now, one example program through which the Verilog data flow description is represented. You see here how this is done. First thing is module name should be given first, then the name of the module, then all the port values, whatever the outputs and inputs we are doing, that is I1, I2, O1, O2. In the first video, we have seen one syntax and example, right? That is same as data flow only. There is no change in the normal Verilog code we write and the Verilog data flow description. It is one and the same. You see here, first module, then the initial part, then we are having the body part statement, and all these things are written in the same way. Okay, module, name of the module, inputs and outputs, you write it in this port, in these ports here. Then inputs you assign whatever are the inputs, that is I1 comma I2, outputs are O1 comma O2. Then assign the values for outputs in terms of inputs, that is O1 is equal to I1 and I2, O2 is equal to I1 or XOR with I2. Okay, after that you would just end the module, and in this way the Verilog data flow description is represented in the code. Okay, so we are using the key C programming here, and like this the data flow description is done. Hope this is clear. So you see here the above example shows HDL code describing a system using data flow description. So the entity or a module name is system. Okay, the name of the module they have used here is system. I1 and I2 are the two inputs used here, and O1 and O2 are the two outputs used here. Okay, the ST1 and ST2 here are the signal assignment statements which assigns the value to the outputs O1 and O2. Okay, so these are the assignment statements used here which gives the output values, that is O1 and O2 are described in terms of inputs. Okay, yeah. So now some of the parameters under this DFD data flow description, let us see. First is the signal declaration. The input and output signals are declared in the module as ports. Intermediate signals other than input and output signals are declared using the predefined word wire in the Verilog as shown below. In the Verilog, signals are declared using REG when the value of the signal needs to be stored. In order to store the values, we use register, and in order to represent them in the Verilog test bench part, those are called as wires. Okay, the output whatever is obtained, and input and output signals both are declared using the ports. Okay, you see here in this bracket, these are the input and output signals which are declared. Okay, so these are called as port values here. Okay, yeah. So this was all about declaration part. Next is signal assignment statements. A signal assignment statement is used to assign a value to a signal. The left hand side of the statement should be declared as a signal. The right hand side can be a signal, a variable, or a constant. Okay, so these are the signal assignment statements which is kept in the left hand side and right hand side. So this event changes the value of I1 from 0 to 1, and also the value of I2 from 0 to 1. Okay, so we could be changing the values getting changed based on whatever the operation is obtained. Okay, so the calculation part and assignment part. In the calculation part, the value of the output O1 is calculated using the current values of I1 and I2. Current values indicates that whatever the value is to be given to that output O1, and which is already mentioned in the program. Okay, so those are the current values at time t0. The value 1 and 1 equal to 1 is calculated. This is not assigned to O1. Next is the assignment. The calculation of value 1 or the calculated value 1 is assigned to O1 only after the delay time. Okay, so the delay factor is very very important here, because they would be giving you one delay. Based on that, you need to be performing that operation. Okay, if that propagation delay value only, the performance has to be completed. After that, the next shift occurs. Okay, the delay time can be implicitly or explicitly specified. Okay, we can be setting a delay time in the particular program, and you could be specifying the what how many seconds or milliseconds of delay is required for that particular operation to work. Okay, since we are having two outputs, for the first output what is the delay, and for second output what is the delay. Okay, like that you could be specifying the delay time. If there is no delay time specified, the HDL uses a default a small delay of delta seconds. Okay, if there is no delay time specified, the Verilog programming or the HDL would be having a default delay set into it. Okay, yeah. So these were the signal assignment statements, and these are continuous and concurrent signal assignment statements as mentioned here. Okay, you see what do you mean by that? First is continuous signal assignment statements. A continuous assignment statement is the most basic statement in Verilog data flow modeling. It is used to drive a module, it is used to drive a value onto a net or assigns a value to a net. Okay, so this is the basic task of this continuous signal assignment statement. It assigns a value to the net. It uses the keyword assign so that we would be getting the value for the particular net. You see here in this code also we have given assign, right? Assign is the basic value which is given to the net, and it is mentioned in the body, right? So you see here assign O1. It means that O1 value is to be written in terms of inputs. Okay, so that's why we are assigning them. So that's why it is called as continuous assignment statement. For example, you see here wire 3 down to 0 z comma preset clear, assign z is equal to preset and clear. Okay, so these are the data provided, and z is to be assigned based on whatever the inputs are mentioned here. Okay, so that's why this is continuous signal assignment. Next is concurrent signal assignment. One of the primary mechanisms for data flow modeling in VHDL is the concurrent signal assignment statement. It has the following form, that is LHS target is less than RHS expression. The value of the RHS expression is assigned to the LHS target that is less than or equal to is called the signal assignment operator. For example, you see here C less than or equal to A and B. It means that the right hand side expression A and B is computed and the value is assigned to the left hand side target C. It means that C, A and B should be following this condition here, that is C less than or equal to A and B, then only the LHS target and RHS expression would be assigned. So using the statements, assignment statements, you could be assigning the separate values for the two concurrent outputs generated. Okay, so that's why it comes under concurrent signal assignment statements. So yeah, these things are not required. So yeah, these many things are required in order to know the Verilog data flow description. I hope it is clear. In the next video, we will be discussing with some of the examples of this Verilog data flow description using some logic circuits. And those examples are very important. Any one or two of them would be definitely asked in the exam. Okay, you should not be skipping the upcoming video. It is very important. So yeah, that's all for this video, guys. Thank you.